One of the games. You want Fischer Wiggers? No, it's it's a nice game, but it's why I think it's also good because it shows you that the result of the game and the power of the name, of the legendary player who won the game, could also influence the commentators. And for a long time, people believed that.
This was in a candidates tournament when Fischer was trying to get through to the World Championship final, which he didn't succeed this time.
He was 16. He was 16 years.
Yeah. He was 16 years old.
I'll not comment on that now. The best move was to take on b4 and then bishop g7, and Fischer simply said that after the exchange on d4, bishop g7, bishop g5, white still keeps control. This is for a player of Fischer's style. That's not a very good comment because he used to be more concrete. And there were a number of games played later. The number of games that were played later that proved that black equalized, and one of the games I quote here is Renek Korchnoi in 1995, Korchnoi equalized. So Gligovic played knight a5, bishop g5, so this bishop is dangerous, but just to exchange this bishop keeps white to maintain a good solid defense around his king, while the attack on the king side is very difficult to stop. So h6 is not good. You have to make this move. Bishop e3, rook c8, knight c4. And that's an interesting situation. Of course, white could take on c4, and after rook c4 it's a dragon, but with h6, with such a move. So in order to castle, black will have to play eventually h5. So after taking on c4, I think white had a very clear advantage. So for instance, white take g4, h5, and even h3 now. And now black has to castle, but just to, in a normal theoretical position, they played h5. It's probably not very good. You don't play on the king side in the dragon, where you have to be very defensive. So, but what is interesting that Fischer made a move here, which
it's quite unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, he made a very unusual move.
Pawn on h6.
Yeah, pawn on h6, yes, correct. Queen e2, and some of the players, like Bronstein, were so impressed that put two exclamation marks for this move. Now, I think the move is just frankly speaking, I think the move is bad. It's very difficult. If we're talking about ultimate chess truth, so if we have to evaluate the moves, bishop takes c4 and queen e2, bishop takes c4 is better because white should keep one of the bishops alive. So Fischer kept bishop b3, the light square bishop. He always had a passion for this bishop.
He always played bishop c4 against the Sicilian, didn't he?
Yeah, but he loved the bishop, light square bishop, and you have many games. It's quite amazingly that Fischer always preferred bishop over knight. And even if his book for the games, for the beginners. Teaches chess. He evaluated bishop with 3 and quarter at the pawn versus knight as just 3 pawns. So it's quite significant advantage for bishop. And you'll find a number of games where Fischer won with the bishop versus knight. And I think there was only one game where Fischer won with the dark square bishop.
It's all the white square bishop.
All the white square. Yes. Now, I think that this position, in fact, is better for black than the position after bishop takes c4, because I can hardly imagine that white could create real threats while bishop g7 is alive and there is no dark square bishop aboard. But the impression was so strong that Gligovic collapsed the move that all the players thought it was a great move. And
So this is a classic example of where everybody's assessment of the position is based on the result of the game. Is that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, Gligorich's opinion, the queen move deserves even an exclamation mark for its originality. White retains his bishop on b3, which is useful not only for attack, but also for the defense of its own king. Now, my comment, incidentally, the same can be said about the bishop on g7. So yes, it kept an important bishop, but this bishop is also alive, and it has no opponents. But it's an original move. It just shows that Fischer could present totally new concepts. He was not shy. He was not afraid of playing the moves that would be considered ridiculous at his time, and that's already demonstrated that even at age 16, he already showed sign of genius that could be way ahead of his generation. Yeah. So Castle. Now, very difficult to refrain from castling, especially where you were under the pressure on pawn on h6 was a naked castle. But Black could play queen b6, and after queen b6, e5 is the threat, so White has to lose time of playing queen d2, and then Black could play queen c5 and start pushing the pawns there, d5, a5, and if Black pawns are on d5, a5, this bishop might not be.
Not so happy.
Yeah, not so happy. It's not good. The bishop could defend White's king against attack organized by the pieces, rooks or light pieces, or minor pieces, but not against the pawns.
It's the target of the pawns.
Yes, if the pawns are advanced, then bishop could be in trouble. So, and then queen c5. There was a game that Fischer played in the simul, but I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good for Black. However, even the castle is not bad. g4, queen a5, and again queen b6 was stronger. Again queen b6, queen d2, queen goes on c5, and then would push the pawns. Eventually, Black pawn should go on e6, where it controls d5 square and also cuts this bishop. Gligorich played queen a5, and you see those are normal moves. That's what Black normally
an automatic move.
Yes, does in the dragon. Castle, queen goes on a5, but you should be a little bit more creative. It's a new situation. For instance, queen on a5. If there is no bishop here, then rook takes c3 and queen takes c2. That's a possibility. With bishop on b3, queen on a5 does nothing. The best it hopes to go on c5, but you can do the same with queen b6, creating a threat e5, and then go on c5.